This woman has been able to grow her hair long and healthy, and she says she doesn't need any more extra things other than these two ingredients. Welcome to my continent, where some of my people have found a way to grow their hair within a drought without any water. The Himba tribe relies heavily on nature for their hair care, but this does not include any water to help moisturize their hair. Ochre is a clay found in the Kunene region of Namibia, where these women live. This clay is used instead as a moisturizer right after the women's hair has been braided. Their hair remains in these braids for about 3 months before they redo them. The ochre is crushed into a finer powder, which is then added to animal fat. This makes a paste called ojise, which is then used as a moisturizer, both for the skin and hair. For the Himba women and a lot of African tribes, hair is symbolic of a lot of things. A hairstyle that covers a female's face like this one is meant for young girls that haven't yet undergone puberty. Morocco is another African country that provides us with rhassoul clay. This is an exfoliator that can be made using only water or some aloe vera, or a combination of both as demonstrated. Rhassoul clay removes dead cells and buildup. This leaves the scalp feeling clean and the hair hydrated. The mixture is applied and massaged on the scalp and the rest of the hair. After about 30 minutes of leaving it in, it is then washed out. A great moisturizer that can be used after such a satisfying clarification is ambunu. Ambunu is one African hair growth secret that has so many properties, and this originates from Chad. It can be used as a replacement for shampoo because it is a cleanser. It is also used to treat an itchy scalp and also fights dandruff. You could also use it as a detangler and also as a pre-poo. To prepare this, 1 cup of boiled water is used, and to that, half a cup of ambunu leaves are added. The amount of leaves added will determine how thick the gel consistency is going to be. Wait for about an hour to give the gel time to get thicker. Once you're satisfied with the gel consistency, you can then go ahead and strain the gel. It is originally used directly on the head without straining, but that just makes the rinsing out process a little bit harder. The thickness of the gel just makes detangling way easier. It allows for hair strands to move past each other without any tangles, and this in turn decreases the amount of breakage, which leads to less rotation. The mixture can be used as a deep conditioner and later rinsed out after 30 minutes, leaving the hair feeling soft, well-defined and bouncy. The scalp is also left feeling clean and fresh. But for these amazing properties to last longer, the east and west parts of Africa provide us with shea butter, a moisturizing sealant that grows from the shea tree, which produces the shea fruits. The shea butter comes from the shea nut inside the shea fruit. After separation, the nuts are then boiled, dried and cracked. This is done to reveal the kernel, which is the actual source of the shea butter. These are then cracked and fried. You know they are ready when you can hear the nuts sizzle when you add water to them. The nuts can then be grinded in 3 different ways. First, by pounding like this, or by using a stone like this. And the third method is to take to the millers. This is then mixed with water until the butter floats on top. It's then scooped out and boiled until the pure shea butter floats to the top. This is what's taken out, scooped out with a spoon, and that is the final product. Used to help seal in the moisture to prevent breakage. But here's another option to strengthen hair and help prevent breakage using Chebe powder, which is also from Chad. It is a mixture of herbs that are believed to help strengthen the hair strands, therefore helping in length retention. The types may vary a little bit depending on how they were made, but its application is still the same. This is applied directly on the hair strands with an oil of your choice. The oil is first applied on the hair, followed by the Chebe powder. The reason why this is not directly applied to the scalp is because it is likely to clog your pores. But when infused into an oil, butter, or hairspray, it can be used both on the roots, on the hair, and on the scalp, as long as the oil, butter, or spray does not contain any residues of the Chebe powder. And one of the oils you would use is marula oil. processed in a similar way as shea butter, where the kernel is again separated and pounded with a little bit of hot water to help aid in the pounding process. After a while, you can see the oil begin to separate from the rest of the nuts. The rest of the nuts are clamped together to help separate them from the oil. The oil can then be boiled a little bit or used raw for various purposes, from skin, hair, and food. Marula oil is a very common oil in the beauty industry because of its healing properties. It is very light and therefore easily absorbs into the skin, and this can help seal in the moisture. But a sure way to retain moisture and length is protective styling. African threading is one hairstyle African women have used for centuries to both grow their hair and also straighten it, using different types of thread to achieve different types of hairstyles. And this involves one wrapping the thread around their hair to form an artificial look. These can either be joined together or left to hang alone, tied in a bun, or just left loose. The beauty about African threading is that it straightens your hair, and when hair is in a straightened state, it is less likely to tangle. And tangles lead to more knots in the hair, which then leads to more breakage. So while it is just a beautiful hairstyle to have, it is also an important, healthy hair care hairstyle. Before we all run off in search of all of these products, let me introduce you to one woman from my country, Zambia, Lista Piri. This woman has been able to grow her hair long and healthy, and she says she doesn't need any more extra things other than these two ingredients. Her hair has been flourishing and growing long and beautifully. She has hair that is longer than her actual height, almost twice her actual height, and she only had to do this simple routine. All she used was, she says, she used Boom. This is not a shampoo, this is washing paste, Boom detergent paste, and that's all she used. This just goes to show that we do not actually need much, just some paste that is actually meant for your clothes. And after she's done washing her hair, she'll go in and use good old Vaseline, nothing fancy, same Vaseline that we all know. She would also call for help from her neighbors, because obviously if you have hair that long, you would want some help, wouldn't you? All of this just goes to show that we don't really need the exact product that everybody else with long hair is using to actually grow our hair. We just need better practices. Long manipulation for me is key. One thing that is common among all of these women, regardless of which country they're coming from, is that they maintain a low manipulation hairstyle throughout a long period of time before they ever get to touch their hair again. Some go as far as only taking down their hairstyle to braid it back again the same day. So this just goes to show that low manipulation is key, regardless of whatever product you're using. I've actually heard a few people say Boom actually makes your hair grow, and this just goes to show you how much people rather just be like, I want to know, what do you use for your hair? Instead of, I want to know, what are you doing to actually grow your hair this way? Most people I've realized now are just so much into trying to find out the right products and not necessarily the right practices. So the practices of good healthcare are very important. So what if I have Chebe and all these other things that we mentioned that these women use? I have access to them and I still want to comb my hair every single day, blowing it and just applying heat and just doing all of these things that just cause my hair to break. Regardless of the kind of products that I have access to, I'm still not going to grow the hair that I want because it's just not being left alone. You are totally over manipulating it and it's just not going to work. So regardless of any products that we have, I feel like it's more important to just learn better healthcare practices.